San Haisai from the Ryukyu Kingdom of Okinawa, Japan. You are listening to the Shima Gaijin podcast with your host, Joe Isamu Davis.
I watch podcasts all the time. I watch them. I just watched one before I came here.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. In a damn. I don't know if you need to know it, but there's this All Def Digital.
All Def
on YouTube.
Digital.
All Def Digital.
Write it down.
Yeah, All Def Digital. They got it was previously owned by Russell Simmons.
Okay.
And then he got Me Too and he bounced to Bali in his own compound.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Yeah, well, I think that, some girl Me Too'd him like, yo, this cat here, and he saw what was happening to people prior to him. Mm-hmm. He's like, listen, all right, yo, I'm popping smoke bombs, poof, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? And he went to Bali. But anyway, it's a bunch of comedians, man. It's All Def Digital, man. Hilarious. They do Damn Internet, You're Scary. They got this comedian called To Hear More.
To Hear More.
Yeah, he's hilarious. A guy named Patrick Cloud, Kevin on Stage. It's a whole. It's it's black. But it's so very good.
It's a podcast or is this stand up?
They do stand up. They do podcasts. Okay. They do of course they do the same thing where they're recording themselves, visually and audibly. You know what I'm saying? It's really good, man. It's really good, yo. Funny as hell. All kind of content, man. All kind of content. All right, yo. So go ahead, kick it off. All right. What's up? We in here just, you know what I mean? Go ahead, yo. Hey.
I think that's the best introduction ever.
Hey, is this thing on?
Big T. Yeah. Just make sure
happening?
You stay in front of it because I know,
sir.
like, once you go like this, it
oh yeah, I can
it
hear it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my voice carries. Black people, we loud. You know what I'm saying?
Also, do I need to turn it down? No.
No. You good?
I'm kidding. Dude, thanks for coming out and doing this.
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. I mean, this is like, okay, a lot of people have always actually told me, hey, T, man, you should do a podcast. I'm like,
you should.
I don't know. See, here's the thing. If I can talk like when it's organic, but if I'm forced to, and it's like, then maybe I don't know how I do with that. You know what I mean? I don't really know, but a lot of people have said I should do a podcast, and I'm like, well, man, what I got to say, man, some people might be like, yo, oh boy, he's on some different stuff. I don't know if we can swear on that.
Yeah, dude, you can curse all you want.
Okay.
I do too.
Oh boy, on some different shit. So, yo, I don't want people looking at me in the streets like, yo, man, you crazy as hell. Because I do think differently.
But this is authentic, and that's why, like, I barely do. I do little editing. Like the only kind of editing I do is just maybe the beginning and the end,
right?
And then if there's like certain pauses for the audio,
I see what you mean.
But no, because it's authentic. You want people to know what you're feeling,
right. I feel you. I feel you. Now, do you put this? And I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, but do you put this? Where do you put this out at?
This is I put it on. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify.
Okay.
I use this program, this website called Anchor.
I've heard of Anchor.
And so it's free.
Matter of fact, the podcast that I listen to, they talk about Anchor.
It's on Anchor.
Because I listen to Spears and Steinberg. It's on Anchor.
Okay.
It's Ari Spears. He's a comedian, black comedian, funny, and it's this Jewish guy named Andy Steinberg. He's Mexican and Jewish. I listen to this guy named the Daily BJ Gador. He's a fitness guy, but he talks about things. So I listen to a lot of of podcasts, man, because podcasts are pretty, if you think about it, man, podcasts are pretty dope. Where people have a safe space to just talk about things that they like to talk about and just kind of get, what they're thinking out in the world. And you find out more times than not that you ain't as crazy as you thought. Because you're like, well, damn.
Someone's just thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Yeah, so
it's the new blog. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So...
And it's inexpensive. I mean, some of this costs some money, but I mean, I don't need to have this big studio. I don't need to have a producer or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
that's
fun.
Dope, man. That's dope. That's really dope, man. And I think about like when we first met. It was at, what's the name of that club?
Jaguars.
Club Jaguar, man.
Coxside Street.
I remember when the guys who took over the security contract for that was like, yo, T, man, we got another club that we're gonna work security at. And I was like, where? He was like, it's on Coxside Street. I'm like, oh, what? And I was doing B Greens already.
Right. He's
like, well, nah, man, it's Jaguar. I said, what days? He's like, Friday. I was like, man, yo, Friday is pumping at B Greens. You ain't gonna have nobody in there, man. What? Because I don't mind doing security, but I just hated doing security in like a boring ass club.
Right. Yeah.
You sitting up there against the wall trying not to fall asleep.
Like three Japanese people in there.
3 people in there. You know what I'm saying? You got some herb in there, half sleep. You're like, all right, man. This is, because it's money. But it's like, yo, man, I kind of want to stay awake.
And you want the time to fly by fast.
Yes.
You want to talk to some girls, some dudes
you know what I mean? Well,
some
you know what? Funny thing about that, right? Like, so when I first started doing security was pyramids, and this is like 1994, right?
Damn.
94. I had just got out the Marine Corps. I got out the Marine Corps in 93 because I got here in 90. I was up here. I was stationed up at Camp Hansen. I got here on March 3rd, 1990. And when I first got here, this is to let you know, I'm going to put music for it so you know. When I got here, I was singing Milli Vanilli. Blame it on the rain. Yeah. I was hurt when I found out that it wasn't them dudes I was singing, man. I was hurt. I was like, them ain't the dudes that's singing it. And so then I remember when I got to Hansen, man, I got to Hansen. And when I first, let's rewind. When I first got to Okinawa, of course, we came in through the JRC because, the Marine Corps. When I first got here, man, and we would drive, we had just got off Kadena. We got on the white bus. Mm-hmm. Did you guys have the white bus? Or did you fly?
We had a white bus. Yep. We flew into Kadena.
Right.
And then drove to Foster in that bus. Okay.
So we did that, and I'm sitting on the bus, and I'm looking around. I'm like, yo, this island is mad small, yo. Wow, this is small, homie. I was like, oh, no, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it.
Where'd you come from originally?
San Diego. Oh, where okay. I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
This is like a complete 180.
Oh, hell, bro, you talking about big streets, I'm from like the ghetto. All right. Put it this way. You remember that song 8 Mile?
Mm-hmm.
The train tracks is in that song?
Yeah.
Those train tracks run right in front of my house.
No kidding.
Yeah, because I lived on 7 Mile. Eminem lived on 8 Mile. Now, I had already been in Okinawa because he came out when?
96 and 7?
96. Yeah. I was already a civilian over here.
Maybe 98.
Yeah, civilian. Yeah. So, I don't know nothing about Eminem. He wasn't popping. I was listening to EPMD and, we talking about old school LL, Rakim, you know what I mean? I'm listening to old school, right? UTFO, who else? Kool Mo D and all those cats. But anyway, so let's go back. So I came from Detroit. Funny thing was about this, I'm from Detroit. Did you go to San Diego or did you go to Paris Island?
I went to San Diego. I was Hollywood.
Me too. Now, that didn't make any sense to me because
you're Midwest, right?
Well, Detroiters consider themselves, at least in my era, we consider ourselves East Coast because we on East Coast time.
Okay.
So my era, we kind of had an East Coast flavor. We were kind of like more connected with New York and Chicago, and so even though Chicago is central, but we was kind of got our flavor from New York because that was the big influence then. So I was wondering, why am I going to San Diego? Yo, check this out. So I'm all over the place, but that's okay.
That's all right.
It's gonna make sense.
We got a couple hours.
It's gonna make sense. So I joined the Marine Corps in Detroit. We go to San Diego. Now I went to San Diego in July. And they put them hot ass sweatshirts on our ass, right? Yo, tell me why I didn't pull back my collar and pull up my sleeve and steam was coming. I was like, oh hell no, I got steam coming off me, man. What the yo? And then it was Marines in Paris Island. They say they got it worse because of the sand fleas, right? Remember, you always hear that, right?
Yeah.
You Hollywood Marines, y'all mad soft.
We talk about the hills in Hollywood, right?
Yeah. We got to deal with sand fleas. their plight was harder than ours. But see, this is where I always hit them with. I'm like, yo, okay, you was out in the sticks, right? Away from civilization, right? We right next to the damn airport. Remember you doing PT and shit, and you running,
flying by,
and that's just a reminder of where you ain't at. You know what I'm saying?
I wish I was on that plane
right now.
You
running and shit. You see the air, and then remember I was first platoon, 3rd battalion. I was 1067, right? We could look. If you looked if you was on at San Diego, you could see the cars driving. Remember that shit? Yeah. And houses and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, you this close, but you that far.
It's like a real life prison, right?
That's torture. That's torture. You think about it. If you're in the sticks, that means eventually over time, you're going to kind of forget about where you are. You're going to just concentrate on where you are, your immediate surroundings. But every time you look out the window and you see an airport or you see cars driving and nice hacienda type roofs and shit, and that's just a reminder. Yeah, you ain't there. You here. Some drill instructor screaming at you and shit, man. I tell you what, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Now, I got stories out the ass, brother. Now, I don't know if you ever, and you're a little bit younger than me, there used to be this hip-hop artist called Kwame. He had a flat top with a gold streak in his hair.
If I saw the picture, I probably know, but the name doesn't. Yeah.
Well, check it out. So when I flew into San Diego, guess what? I had a flat top with a blonde streak. So when you go to the barbershop, right? So I'm walking in, everybody's going in getting their hair cut. And, receiving drill instructors like, oh, looky here. Look what we got over here. You gonna be last. They had me wait. I'm sitting there watching everybody getting their hair cut, right? So I'm standing there with a damn dustpan in my hand because I'm sweeping up the hair. And I'm spinning the dustpan, right? So this little dude comes up to me and like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Just getting at me, right? And I have a bad habit of looking people in the eye. So I got this little ass dude, right? He's sitting there hitting me with the side of this smoky on my cheek and shit. And each time my eyes wincing, and I'm just imagining myself grabbing him and just breaking his fucking neck, right? And so then this corny ass barber was like, hey, you better not be looking at him. He'll rip off your head and shit down your neck. And I looked at him like, man, you cornball. That's the corniest shit I ever heard in my life, man. You going, what? Yeah, man. So,
were you big? Were you big?
I was thin.
Just tall,
I was just tall. I was just tall and thin. I was like 200 and I think I was maybe like 205, 210, but I was 6'4", 6'3", right? So I was thin, man. And but still, just got this little dude just getting at me, man. And I'm like, man, it was like this. It was at this moment T realized he fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, oh, no. And this had been the first time I had been away from my mom.
Ever?
No, one time I went to California when I was 10, and that was a month. And so like the second or third day, so we in there, we had just getting our 782 gear, right?
Mm-hmm. Receiving, right?
Yeah, receiving. So I'm in putting the boots on and whatnot. And all of a sudden, bro, I just start crying like a baby. Lip quivering the whole nine and neck. Bruh. Yo, because it hit me.
It's hard on a young man.
Yeah, because you don't think about it. But I think of it like this. And I always, when I go back, hindsight's 20/20, I always say this. In ancient cultures, every young man had a rite of passage before he was considered to go, considered an adult man or considered a man, right? In old culture, like in Australia, you had the Aborigines, they would call it walkabout, right? Where one of the elders would take the young man and he would go out into the outback and do things and just go, and just learn survival skills and whatnot, and then when he came back, he was considered a man. Well, in our society, we didn't have that. If you think about it, we didn't have that. We don't have that now, especially now. Don't get me started on that. But I think of that as, because I knew instinctively when I was 16, because I depped the late entry program when I was 16. I was like, you know what? I got to get out of here, because my family is like 92% women. There's only like 2 or 3 guys in that family, right? So I grew up around women. And, it was just like, all right. And I went to a college preparatory high school. So I was considered a smart guy. I was in honor roll and all of that. And I was like, this is what led me to the Marine Corps. I was like, you know what? I ain't got the money for college. And I want to do something instinctively. I knew I wanted to do something hard, something physical, something that would help me, become a man. And the Marine Corps was it for me. Excuse me. The Marine Corps was it for me, man. And I'm glad I did, because I just like, hey, man, 17, I got to get out of Detroit. Mm-hmm. And I think maybe instinctively I knew, hey, man, Detroit, this ain't going to be me. And my father said something later on in the years, which actually let me know that I had made the right decision, because he was like, yo, son. And my father never did live with me, but, the whole, 70s, they was out there getting it in, you know what I'm saying? Promiscuous 70s. My father was 14. My mom was 15 when she had me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, my mom's like she's like my older sister. We got a really tight relationship. He was like, yo, you lucky, you know, our old brothers in the 70s, like, you left the service. You went to the service because we was gonna turn you out. He was gonna be in the family business, and I don't want to tell you what the family business was.
It's all good.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I was like, not me. You know what I mean? But anyway, so fast forward, I go through all that. Go through boot camp. You know, did you go to MCT? Marine Corps Combat Training?
Yep.
Went to MCT. That was fun.
That was fun.
It was
like what, 3 weeks?
It was like a month. And then we did and then we did the Crucible. That was fun. I actually watched a video like about 2 months ago on YouTube that showed that, and I was like, and guess what? It was like 1 or 2 cycles before me or after me.
Really?
Yeah, and I was geeking out. Hey, babe, look, I remember that. And the barber that I was talking about
is in it.
Guess what? He's in the damn fucking video.
Wasn't there like a Hispanic guy, Italian guy? There was a couple like Italian guys or something.
And there was this guy who actually was here, Joe Kim Davis. He used to work for MCCS. At the deployment section. He was in it throughout the video. I tried to reach him because he got out here, and then he stayed out for a while, and then he went back in, and he came back here, and I think he may be gone again. But I was like, yo, Joe Kim is in there. He was in there, mad young and shit. Yeah, man. So you know, we went through the whole Marine Corps thing, boot camp. I went to 29 Palms.
What was your MOS? What'd you do?
Field radio operator.
Okay, that makes sense. 29 Palms. Yep.
Yeah. Now here's the funny thing about that.
You didn't do it.
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't supposed to be at 29 Palms.
Oh.
Because I came in open contract. Now, when I came in open contract, I walked in the recruiter's office. They was like, "What did you do?" I said, "What you mean?" He said, "Because nobody comes in open contract, and especially from the school that I came from, because I went to a college preparatory high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. My curriculum was architecture, so he was like, "What there?" So I came in open contract. Boom. I'm in Santa Onofre right after MCT. So MCT, you guys, what? They got after MCT, everybody finished
on the bench.
Everybody was like, okay.
On the bleachers, right?
Everybody got on the bus and went to their respective schools. Me, I did an about face, went to SOI. Right there in Santa Onofre.
No shit. You went to SOI.
Yeah. So within a few weeks, I get called to the First Church office, and he was like, "Hey, Rogers, how you feel about going 29 Palms, being a radio man?" I was like, okay. So then I went to 29 Palms. Now, when they came to get us at Santa Onofre, they took us by the same bus, by the bus, right? So we going through California. You know, we looking at different things from where is it? Oh, from Pendleton to 29 Palms.
You gotta stop hitting the table, bro.
Oh, dang! I'm sorry, I'm making noise. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So we were riding the bus, and I'm looking at California. I'm like, okay, I really wasn't feeling California.
Really?
Nah.
Okay.
I wasn't. I didn't feel California at all. It looked pretty, but I just wasn't feeling it. So anyway, we're driving to 29 Palms, and we get there at night. Now at night, 29 Palms is beautiful. Lights everywhere. We're like, oh my God, it's beautiful out here. Oh, right.
Like stars. You talking about like stars?
No, we see like all the lights off of the buildings in the distance from 29 Palms. That next morning, I walked out the barracks. I received. I was like, where the fuck did everything go? Dog, nothing but desert. Nothing but desert, dog. I mean, I was like, wait a minute. Where did everything go? I mean, I was shocked because at night, again, I'm thinking, the perception was totally different night and day. Totally different, bro. Have you ever been to 29 Palms?
Never been.
You ain't missing shit.
That's what I hear.
You ain't missing
it's like the armpit of the Marine Corps.
Yes. And but I had some good experiences because I got to go to LA. And this is where I later found out that California wasn't for me. Went to LA. Now, the perception I had of LA, strictly from the movies. The reality of LA, totally different. Totally different. People there are just really weird, man. I call them plastic. They were just people was just plastic as hell, man. So one time, we used to take the bus, from 29 Palms and just go out to places.
On Liberty?
Yeah, on Liberty. So one time, me and my friends, we on Liberty. We on Liberty. We go out for the weekend. We getting ready to head to Escondido, I believe. So me, Check this out. I had on a blue hat, blue sweatshirt, and fucking blue jeans. Where we at a bus stop.
Oh no.
Now I'm from Detroit. I don't know. You
repping the wrong color, son.
Yo, this dude was like, "Hey, yo, cuz, cause ain't no Z." I'm like, "What is Z at, dog?" Yo, cuz, what you claiming, cuz? I'm like, "Man, I'm claiming the Marine Corps, dog. What you talking
like Detroit
about?"
Pistons.
Yeah, I'm like, "Yo, dog, I'm claiming the Marine Corps. What you talking about?" He was like, "Yo, man, you better get out them colors, man." Shit. Listen, I was, people like think big bad Marine. Shit, I was looking through my damn backpack because everybody had one. I was looking at my backpack, pulled out, changed that shirt quicker and shit, dog. That was my first introduction to how Bloods and Crips and how they really bang that shit.
And that's early 90s. That's the 90s.
That was 80. That was 89. It was 89.
89.
It was 89 because I got Okinawa in 90, so it was 89.
During the time where that shit was
big.
Bruh.
Yeah. Bruh, I took. So that was one of my experiences there. And in 29 Palms, people ain't gonna believe this, and I know I'm gonna sound crazy, and people who hear this gonna be like they think I'm lying, but I am not. If my skin ain't black on my body, and it is, I saw Bob Hope because in 29 Palms they have Bob Hope Drive, which is the main, I believe, is the main road in.
Like you saw his ghost?
I saw him. He wasn't dead yet.
Oh,
no disrespect to the dead. We got you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I used to watch your USO movies too, homie. But guess what? I saw him walking with a dude. And I ain't talking about they was walking like, "Hey, what's up, cat?" No, the energy, I'm just saying it. I'm not disrespecting, but the energy, because when two dudes walk by each other, there's a certain energy that two guys have if they ain't on some bullshit, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too crazy because man, you speak about the alphabet people, you get shut down. You know what I'm saying? And hey, no disrespect, everybody can live how they want to live. I'm all good. But Bob Hope was walking with this dude. I'll leave that with that. I'll leave that right there. Shit. I saw him. I was like, because you come on, man. Everybody know who Bob Hope is. Yeah. You don't. That's not something that you mistake.
I thought you saw his spirit or something.
No. No, sir. I saw Bob Hope, man, walking with a dude because he was old then.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I don't want to say I'm not sure, but it almost looked like I was like if they was like arm in arm, I'm not sure, but they was awfully close for two dudes walking down the street. And I'll leave it at that. And I tell that story, and everybody look at me like, "Yeah, all right, dog." I'm like, I ain't got no reason to lie. Of all people to lie about, to see Bob Hope, like hey, I'm gonna tell a story about Bob Hope. No, I saw him, man. Okay, so like I said, we stayed in California. So I was in California from November of 89 until February of 90. Yeah, February of 90, right? Went through school, whatnot, trying not to fall asleep because damn. If anybody ever been, any Marines been out there and you've been to MOS school, tell me it wasn't a struggle not to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And, oh man, head bobbing like, you know what I'm saying? Like you at a hip hop concert, your head is just bobbing, rubbernecking big time. So then, we got orders. This is the funny part. So when they gave us our orders in school, they were like, "Yo, you guys are going to Japan." Now, when I'm thinking Japan, I'm not thinking Okinawa. Bam. I'm thinking Tokyo, whatnot. So I'm like, "Oh shit, we going to Tokyo." Oh, damn.
Did you know anything about Japan back then?
No. The only Japanese I had ever been exposed to, and you're gonna laugh about this, was in the Wolverine comic book.
Okay. When he was hanging out with the Yakuza.
You remember that, right?
A samurai.
And then they would have it where, in the Marvel comic books, they would have I forget what the brackets are, and they would have like him speaking in Japanese if they translated. Mm-hmm. The first word I ever heard was "Ohayo gozaimasu," and that was in a Wolverine comic book, who happens to be my favorite character.
Me too.
Yeah, I love Wolverine, man. Oh, that's my dude. But anyway, so we thinking that we're going to, I'm thinking I'm going to Tokyo. "Oh no, you going to Okinawa, Japan, The Rock." Oh, what? And one of our instructors had been in Okinawa. And he didn't give it rave reviews. He was like, "Oh man, y'all going to the Rock? You're gonna be one of 3 things." And what are those 3 things they said that you're gonna be?
I forget.
I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be a religious freak, a PT freak, or a drunk. They said that. Remember that?
Yes.
Whenever they said you went to Okinawa, that's exactly what the 3 things they said you were gonna be. Now, if you think about that, and this will actually make sense down the line when I probably get to it, because I'm all over the place. I'm a tangent thinker. That's really 3 ways that a person becomes introspective.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Introspective. When you get to Okinawa, because it's a small island, it forces you to be introspective. I'm gonna leave that right there. Remind me to get back to introspective,
okay.
Because that'll make sense into this whole thing about Okinawa and whatnot. So they was talking about how we wasn't going to be able to drive no cars, and then what reference of Okinawa did we have at the time?
Karate Kid.
Karate Kid, bro.
That's right.
Karate Kid. I'm like, oh man,
Mr. Miyagi.
We gonna be here, and I'm thinking I had all these mental images of what it was, and I was mad.
You were thinking there was gonna be some lady in the yukata pushing a wheelbarrow or something.
Yeah, bro. Didn't you? No, you didn't. No, you didn't, because
I've never been to Okinawa, but my mom's side's Japanese, so I didn't know what to expect.
But
to be honest.
Okay. Well, damn. Okay. Well, I made an assumption that was incorrect. So I'm like, man. I told my mom, I said, "Mom, I'm going to Okinawa." She's like, "Where's that?" I was like, "Oh, you remember that movie Karate Kid?" She's like, "Yeah, there." Oh, I was like, "Yeah," but I was like, "Okay, well, it is what it is." Fast forward, we get here. Now we get to the point where I get to Kadena, driving down to go to JRC on Foster. Let me ask you this: the roads, didn't they seem mad small?
Yeah,
didn't they? Yeah. They seemed very small. I was like, wow, this place is small. And then right outside Foster, where the spot gate is, you could see Keena's kitchen. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, it's right. Because if you think about it, I came from 29 Palms, where Pendleton, everything was away from the base.
Yep.
29 Palms, everything was away from the base. But then here, everything is right outside the gate.
Yep.
So that definitely gave it a perception of being really small.
Plus the cars are small.
Yeah, bro. Yep. Yeah, so I was like, oh, no.
It's like you're living in a, what do you call it? Like a fake built,
a
Hollywood scene or something.
Yeah, like I'm on set or somewhere. Like I'm waiting somebody to go cut. So, I get here, we get to the, we get to the JRC, and, we didn't have Liberty or nothing like that, and I'm sitting here like, oh boy, this is different. This is really different. Oh man. So, we stay there. I think, how long did we stay in?
It's about a week in JRC. And people are listening. JRC is Joint Reception Center. Yeah, we stay for a week. No, it's all right.
We over here speaking like people know.
But this podcast episode is gonna be good for people who have left Okinawa, who know you or me, or who just grew up in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, they'll remember. These acronyms and stuff like that. Yeah, we on the Rock. So then the week I stayed a week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then we got on the bus again because we've been on for a week. Went on the expressway, drove over Ishikawa. Now, what's really funny is I live right by where I'm going to reference. Remember when you drove over that bridge? Well, we drove over that bridge, Ishikawa. That was the first time that I got introduced to Inaka Kosui, country cologne. The pig farms and the cow farms. Everybody was on the bus because we were heading to Schwab first. Everybody was like, oh, shit, what is that smell? Because we had never, remember, we just came from Foster.
Yeah.
Right? Foster is kind of centrally located. Yeah. We haven't hit the country yet. Man, we drove through that, bro, and everybody was like, damn, what's that damn smell? We didn't know. We was like, damn, it stink, man. So we go to Schwab, right? And the first spot, I came early because the people that let me go back. The people like when we left out of 29 Palms, I came back early. I came back from leave early. A lot of people took 14 days. I just took 10 days. So I got here earlier than all my other, because they sent my whole class to Okinawa.
Oh, dang.
They sent the whole class to Okinawa.
Wow. No one had a choice, huh?
No one had a choice.
Wow.
So I get here, and the first stop we made it was at Recon. And when I looked at that sign, pain is only a sign of weakness leaving the body.
Yeah.
And I was like, because they told us, where we were going at that point. But, Schwab was the first destination. I was like, whoa. Funny thing is, all the other radio operators from my class that got here 4 days later, they all went to Recon.
Oh,
I'm talking about missed that bullet, bro.
So you went to Hanson.
I went to Hanson. I went to 3rd Combat Engineer Battalion, right? So here's the funny thing. It was a lot of combat engineers there. Everybody's like, oh, yeah. So we get off. We get off in front of the company. Stop hitting this thing. Hopefully I'm not making too much sound. We get off at the company office, right? So the guy comes out, he greets us. He's like, all combat engineers on this side, getting formation. Boom. Now, when we come there, there's only 2 barracks to the right of us, and the company office is on the right also. To the left of us is a bunch of squad bays that are no longer there anymore, but there was a bunch of squad bays, right? So, combat engineers form up here. Hey, you, who are you? I'm a radio man. You come up over here. So they're laughing because they're thinking, oh, shoot. They thinking that they going to the barracks. Up, and they go, right, hey. Marched them right to the damn squad bays, dog. I was waving at them like,
peace.
He said, yeah, you come here and get your room key. I was like, yeah, Y'all was talking mad shit. Yeah, enjoy them squad days.
Enjoy the Foot Locker and
yeah.
your
so
bunk bed.
Yeah. So I got my key and whatnot, and I was, it was 3 men to a room at that time. 3 men to a room. Mm-hmm. We didn't share heads. That was a new Marine Corps.
That was a new thing. Yeah,
that was a new thing. We had the older barracks. So building 2655. Yes, sir.
Is it still there?
It's still there.
Yeah.
It's still there. Yeah. And now that I'm actually working on Hanson, I go by there often and look at it. So, we get there and whatnot. I get in, I introduce myself. I had 2 roommates. I forget the first dude's name because he wasn't there very long. But my other roommate was Lance Corporal Jimenez, right? He was a Puerto Rican dude, but he spoke no Spanish. He was from Boston, right? So, of course, me being a newbie, remember, I don't know if you ever had a 3-man room?
No. I was the new one.
Oh, you're the new Marine Corps. Yeah. All right. So you had the senior man had the 1 bed, and then you had bunk beds.
Okay.
So I wasn't a senior man, obviously. So I had the bunk beds, right? So I had the top bunk. Like, all right. So, how you doing? My name, PFC Rogers. I was a PFC at the time. Boom, boom, boom. So then my first night, I remember going to the PX. Have you ever heard of Calvin and Hobbes?
Yeah. The stuffed animal.
Yeah, you know the comic books?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm
That's
sorry.
all right.
The comic books? Yeah, I went. So I remember the BX, and the first purchase I made of the BX was a Calvin and Hobbes comic book, a Sara Lee cheesecake, and I think that was it. So I'm in my room and whatnot, and I'm reading Calvin and Hobbes, and I'm eating my cheesecake. And I was like, you know what, man? Let me step outside. Let me walk outside. So I put on some civvies and whatnot, and I put on my because everybody had a Walkman at that time. Everyone had a Walkman. Everybody had a Walkman. Everybody. Yeah. Cassette tapes, not this. All right. This is 1990. All right.
No AirPods.
Nah, this is 1990. All right. So nah. And I'm walking down the main strip of Hanson, and I'm like, man, it's a big base. And it was, it was a nice base. It was at night. And then I'm walking, and I see someone drive by in a car, and guess what they're playing on the radio?
Milli Vanilli.
Nope.
Oh.
I got the power. Snap. I was here when Snap came out. And when I tell people that, they like, damn, that was a long time ago. Because music is a good reference point to where everybody was at that time. And when I say that, they're like, damn.
It's crazy. If I hear a song from back in the day, it takes me back to a certain time.
Of course.
Like a memory.
Right.
Like I knew where I was at that time.
Because it's a good, it's almost like the soundtrack to your life.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's your soundtrack to your life. That's why they do it in the movies, right? So I'm like, What's that song? Yeah, that song was dope for those that remember. All those old heads. It still is dope. Old heads stand up. I know y'all know what we talking about. If that song
comes on, if you're working out, you're like,
yeah. Yeah, man. So you know, I'm, and then I go to my unit. I was with, like I said, I was the radio. I was in comm platoon. You know what I'm saying? But third comm platoon, H&S battalion, third combat, comm section, H&S platoon, third combat engineer battalion. I'm sorry, I had to say it right for the Marines that would just roast me because I didn't get it right. So I got it right. And like I said, I didn't have no license or whatnot, man. I remember my first weekend, I took the bus, I took the bus down to Kadena.
Was that the Semper Fi bus?
It was the white bus. It was just a white bus, just like the same one that we rode on when we got off of at the airport.
Okay.
I mean, at the Mac terminal. So I go to Kadena Air Base, and then I walk off base. I walk right outside Gate 2 Street. And I remember when I was stepping out of the gate, I was like, wow, because this was totally different than anything I'd ever seen. Anything I'd ever seen. You know, then Gate 2 had all the stores that was selling the bootleg clothes.
NFL jerseys.
Yeah. You know, getting
hip-hop clothes.
Getting Nikes that, you know, you wash later. This is like a blanket. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? And, so I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing all these colorful shops. And I'm like, all right, okay. Yeah, this is okay. This is different. And now I remember the first time I ever saw a blue bridge. Remember the blue bridges? There's not many of them left anymore in Okinawa. They've all been pretty much replaced by more modern bridges. But I had never seen anything like that. I was like, wow, it was just dope, man. I mean, you know, these were just things that I had never seen before.
Something small, right? That it's interesting that you say that, because to me, it's something that I'd been accustomed to seeing as a kid, traveling back and forth to Japan and the U.S. But for you, as a grown-ass dude, you're like, what is this thing? It's going above the traffic.
You know how old I was when I got here?
Yeah. 19?
I was 18.
Oh, 18.
I was 18 years old when I got here, bro.
Dang. You've been out here for
31 years.
31 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 31 years. So I'm walking and straight, no broken time. And I'm walking, I'm like, wow. Then we go to Ichibangai. Ichibangai is like, man, how can you explain that?
I have no clue.
It's like, you know, the store, you know, the area where you go in and has all the stores, shops, and
arcade,
and it's covered. You know,
arcade. It's called like an arcade.
Yeah. And it's like all these stores. And I'm walking in, and
this is before the days of malls.
Right. It's kind of like, you know what? It's kind of like a mall, but covered. But did you know that people lived above those shops?
I did not know that.
Yeah, those shops that are in Ichibangai.
Are they owned by the same?
I don't know. Okay. I don't know, but I remember you would see like a vegetable store and then look right up, and you're still covered. This is covered now. They have like I don't know what that is, like plexiglass all over the whole section.
Kind of like a Heiwadori or Kokusai Street, right? Same kind of setup.
Exactly. And I'm looking up and I'm seeing people like looking out of their apartments down, and it's hustling and bustling, and this is 90, so it's still kicking, you know, it's still pumping. Man, that was the bad. I enjoyed it. It was dope, man. It was like, wow, I never seen anything like that, man. I was just amazed. Now, I still wasn't eating off base because I was shook. You know what I'm saying? Because they also said up in Hanson anyway, they were like, the corn dogs were made out of cattails.
Yeah. The yakitori sticks are cat.
Yeah. And then, but here's the thing. In Kenville, you didn't see any cats with tails. Now that we know we know there's a different reason for that.
Right.
But if you think about what someone told you and then what you see is like
18.
At 18, you're like, oh man, I ain't fucking around with that shit. Hell no. Look at them big ass chicken legs. Not realizing that was just a thigh and a leg fried together. Because in the States, we chop up the parts. We don't sell a quarter, you know, the thigh and leg quarter.
Right.
Japan does that, and they fry it up. So you thinking, man, that look like a cat leg. You know what I'm saying? I was not fucking around. I was like, nah, I'm good, yo. I'm gonna stay on base. So like I said, I go off base at Kadena, I come back on Hanson and whatnot, and I do the Marine thing, you know, and on the weekends, you know, I would like go down to Kokosai Street all the time and walk up. And this is when Kokosai Street was still under construction. Everything was still covered with totang, you know, with corrugated metal.
Oh, okay.
They were renovating Kokosai Street at that time. Yeah. But I would just walk, because again, Kokosai Street, I would walk up there hours, man, hours.
Is this during the same time as Desert Storm?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want to talk about Desert Storm?
It just reminds me of Swafford, the guy who did Jarhead.
That was my time.
He wrote the book.
That was my time in the Marine Corps.
His book talks about him running up and down Kokosai Street at night and stuff.
Bro, when I watched that movie, Jamie Foxx, that was dope. Yo, that was my time. The music they played, 911's a joke.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Matter of fact, oh man, I got so many stories. So let's talk about that. Desert Storm. So I'm with Combat Engineer Battalion, as you know. I'm a radio man. In Combat Engineer Battalion, there's one radio man with a platoon of combat engineers. I deployed a lot. I hated staying in garrison, which means not in the field for y'all that don't understand what I'm talking about. So I always volunteered. I used to go to CTA all the time.
What's CTA?
Central Training Area.
Oh, okay.
You know, and we used to go to this. We do field ops or whatnot, and we used to go to this place by Ken Dump. Yo, the rats there, them things was like cats, dog. Them things were like cats, yo. Them rats was huge. Here we are with the shelter half. When you came in, did two Marines share one side of the tent, or did you guys get your own tents?
We got our own, I think. Man, I think it depended.
Yo, man.
I know.
You see this, man? See, man? Come on, yo. New Marine Corps. Come on,
right.
yo. I'm hating.
But hey, I spit shine my boots and I iron my camis.
Which I thought was the stupidest thing on the damn planet. Damn, I thought that was dumb. Your Sundays were shot. Because what was you doing on Sundays? You was ironing camis and spit shining boots. And I worked in a shop where we handled big ass transceivers. Drop it on your damn toe. You spend the hours you spent spit shining the boot out the window. Now, what was the point of?
I don't know. It just creates good habits. No.
I mean, okay, I understand that,
but I feel like that's something that's missing. And you watch these young cats. They have no
bearing, military bearing. Yeah. I can see that. I can see that. I mean, I think there could have been a happy median,
right,
between the both. Happy medium between the both. Because, I mean, like, starch camis, I mean, really?
Yeah.
You know, because the Mama Sons put that rice starch in there, boy.
But you would have pride in your uniform and in your appearance and how you act.
That's true. Okay, I can smoke a bowl of that. Okay. That makes sense. I just, at the time, I was hating it. My Sundays were
don't
shot.
get me wrong. I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore.
Hell yeah. You sitting there fucking spit shining your boots. Okay.
I'm drinking a beer on Sunday now.
Let me ask you something. You ever been to Korea?
Yeah, but not as military.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never got.
So you don't know nothing about kangaroo polish?
Nah.
Yo, for spit shining, since we're talking about that, for spit shining your boots, any Marine that knows has ever been to Korea, you know what I'm getting ready to talk about. I'm talking about that kangaroo boot polish. Have your shit like glass, dog. I don't know what was in that polish.
Really?
I don't know what was in that polish, but that polish was superior to anything you. And when anybody be like, yo, man, you going to Korea? Yeah, can you get me some cans of that kangaroo polish? And, you know, we used to light it and then cover it up and get the water inside. And, man, they had your shoes shining. So, again, you see how the frustration, you got these shining ass toe boots, drop something on it, it's scuffed and fucked up. I hate that shit, yo.
How do we even get on that story? What we talking?
Good Marines, man. Come on, man. You know Marines are going to talk about that. Okay, so let's get back to the Desert Shore. Yeah, let's get back to Desert Storm. So I told you I was a radio operator with a platoon of combat engineers. We go on deployment to Fuji. I was on ACB at that time, Air Contingency Battalion, because Desert Storm was kicking off. So that means at any time I had a backpack packed and everything. Anytime we could go, we get called
ready to go.
Ready to go. So I go on a deployment with 2-3 out of Hawaii, which was dope because some of the dudes I went to boot camp with were in that platoon. So we go to Fuji, right? We go to Fuji. And again, we're combat engineers, and so there's one platoon of combat engineers that's attached with a battalion of grunts. So we go up to Fuji, right? Boom. We out there doing we're doing all kind of stuff, night fire exercises, lighting the side of that mountain up, bright red tracers. You ever did night fire exercises?
Yep.
So we're dealing with the EOD up there. Them dudes were crazy as shit. Because, whenever you do demo, you have a certain amount of demo that you're supposed to mess with. You're not supposed to go over a certain limit. Don't get me lying because I ain't EOD, so I don't know. All I know is that we created this thing called Frankenstein. You want to know what Frankenstein is?
What's Frankenstein?
I'll tell you. So you take, and for the combat engineers that's listening to this, if I get this wrong, you got to understand I was a radio man, so I didn't see it from the very beginning how they made it. I'm kind of going off memory 30 years ago or thereabouts. You take a coffee can, you fill it with nuts and bolts. I think you put C4 in a blasting cap.
What?
So the reason why they call it Frankenstein, if I'm correct, don't roast me if I'm not. It's because if the bolts stick to your ass, you're gonna be looking like Frankenstein with bolts stuck to your head. I remember, so we out there in the fire, we out there in the area, we go, fire in the hole, fire in the hole, fire in the hole. All you hear while we're in the berm is that's the bolts flying by. One of the EOD dudes, I don't know what happened, but he got hit with a bolt and it cut his nose. Wow, he was like, damn. That's all he said was, damn, got me. I'm like, you crazy motherfucker. Crazy. Yeah, so we used to do crazy stuff. Like, I remember I was on guard duty at the armory, November, Camp Fuji. But guess what? I'm outside the armory. Oh. Armory duty outside the damn armory.
Cold as shit.
Cold as shit.
But you're from Detroit.
yeah, but I had been over here.
This ain't got shit.
Hell no, I was cold as hell, bro. But the good thing it had a nice view at night. Not like 29 Palms. In the daytime you could actually see some shit, but at nighttime it was really nice. We had and then I guess for 2-3 their battalion commander, they called him Batman. He had us do a 5-mile time run on Thanksgiving Day morning. Fuck out of here with all that.
All in the Marine Corps, man.
Fuck out of here. Man. So I was like, oh man. But the good thing was we had Weekend Liberty. Right. So everybody's getting ready for Weekend Liberty. Everybody's in the barracks, which are kind of newer than the squad bays. It's still a squad bay, but it's like a 4-story or 3-story squad bay. Modern by standards then, according, especially, considering how old the old squad bays were. And so everybody's shaving and taking, getting ready to go party. And guess what's playing? 911 is a joke. The same song that was in Jarhead. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So when I hear that, I always think about that. We all laughing and joking. So we go down to Roppongi. Right? We go down to Roppongi.
Yeah.
So baby. So we down to Roppongi, we looking around and shit like that. And the Nigerians is like, hey.
Oh, they were still there. They were there then.
Yeah, trying to front like Americans, dressing wrong. I'm from New York. Not with green, yellow, and purple on, bro. You ain't from New York. Stop fucking fronting, dog. Fuck out of here. Right? So we go into these clubs, man. I go into this club and we in the disco, and this is my first time in a Tokyo disco. And this is the time when Japanese girls were really big into body conscious dresses, the tight dresses. Because Juliana Tokyo was real big at the time.
Okay, yeah.
When he's doing the pata and shit like that.
Yeah,
and anybody you don't know, go onto YouTube, punch up Juliana's Tokyo, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm in there and I'm sitting down, right? And I'm chilling, I'm watching everything down, right? And so this girl named Yuki walks up to me, right? Yuki Nakamura. I still remember her name. So she's talking. She says, "How you doing? I'm high." Fine. Pretty nice looking girl, man. How you doing? Oh, hi. And we talking and stuff like that. And she's drinking, and I was just drinking pineapple juice because I'm really not a big drinker. And so I'm talking to her, and so she's, we dancing, and we're dancing to cars drive by with the booming system. You know what I'm saying? LL and shit. You know what I'm saying? So we dance and whatnot. We get down. We sitting down, and she whispers something in my ear, dog. Man, I don't know if I can say that on this podcast.
You can say whatever you want.
Man, she was like, I want you to fuck me. I'm sitting here like, mouth wide open, shit-eating Cheshire grin on my face like, oh, what?
Which club was it?
I don't remember, man. I can't remember. And I have been to Roppongi many times since then. And I still can't remember the name of the place.
Remember the name of the girl?
Yes. But we didn't hook up at that time. We didn't, because I was with my boys and stuff like that. So we went back up to Fuji, and we were going to leave the next week. But something happened. Desert Storm kicked off. I was supposed to leave. Now, this was in January, I told you. Mm-hmm. I was supposed to leave in March because I had been in Okinawa for a year.
Yeah, what was the tours back then?
Just 1 year. Just 1 year. What happened was, because of Desert Storm, Desert Shield, which came first, Shield or Storm? I think Storm came first, then Shield came second. Because of Desert Storm, all Marines on the island of Okinawa got involuntarily extended for 6 months.
What was your mindset back then? What was it like?
I was ready to get the fuck off of this island. I was ready to get the hell away. I was like, man, I can't wait to get out of here. I'm walking around. I'm short. Got the news up in Fuji. I was like, oh, hell no. What? I got to spend 6 more months? So anyway, me and old girl had exchanged numbers. So we had 1 more week. So I think it was a Wednesday, somehow I called her, Green, remember the green phones?
Yeah, what, the
public green phone? Yes.
Yeah.
I called her. She came up to Fuji to meet me. So I met her at the gate. We went off base. We went off base. We ate something. We went to this Love Hotel off base. And that was the first time that I ever had oral with a Japanese girl. You know what she did? I'm kissing on her. She was like, taste me, and pushed my face down to the fucking thing. And this is the 90s, so they didn't shave. So she had hair on her face, hair on her area like your beard. So I go to taste me. I was like, well, damn, all right. So I go to down, and she got long hair. Guess what happened? Because it hit the back of my, whatever that is, the back of your throat. And I looked up, and all she did was giggle and laugh and push my head back down there. So, nature took its course, you know what I'm saying? And so, I was like, well, then before I got up early in the morning, went back on base, I was like, well, yo, it was nice to see y'all, keep in touch. I'll call you. And I planned on it too, and I did. And so she left. Now, we thinking we going to leave again. We got, the Marine Corps, hurry up and wait. Delay number 2. So, we were down and we were going to leave out of Yokosuka at this time. So we left Fuji, went to Yokosuka. Right? Mm-hmm. So we were waiting to get on the ship because I went up there on the Dubuque, which was an LPD. We came back on the Duluth. So we were sitting there, and it was like we were there for 2 nights. Got in touch with old girl again. Got another funny story. So she meets me. I go off base. We go to this place called Hotel Yokosuka. Right. So I'm in there, I'm in there, doing my Tarzan thing. So I pick her up, right? And so I try to, and this is another thing. I tried to, pick her up and slide right back in, hit the inside of that thigh. I said, bent up like a straw. Shit, dog. You ever have a silent scream?
A silent scream.
It was like nothing came out. I was like,
like a Charlie Chaplin movie.
Yeah. So, but so then I wound up getting back on the boat, the next day, and we came back. And like I said, me and her, we kept a long distance relationship for quite some time. Now, after that, in between that, I was going, deployments and whatnot. I went to Korea. Now, Korea, Pohang, asshole of the universe. No disrespect to anybody from Korea, but Pohang back in the 90s was some garbage. It. So we went, I went there, right? And I was with Tactical Exercise Controllers Group, TECG. We were the guys that we was basically playing war games. And we had like covers with the white tape around, and then they would put white diamonds on our Humvees for y'all, all y'all TECG people. You know what it was. So basically, I was in a Humvee, and I was the radio operator and driver for a captain that went to the same high school as me, but he was a little bit older, a first lieutenant that was a prior enlisted, and a second lieutenant. So, I'm in there sirring them to death, and they was like, hey, listen, check this out. Sir every other day. Now you can go ahead and cut it. You want to put the AC on, it's cool. Hey, sir every 5 or 10 minutes, bro. Nah, my name is this. My name is this. Now, when we get around people, you can call me sir. But right here, we was on first name basis. We had a great time, brother. We driving all over the countryside in Korea and shit. I got caught in the tank trap. I got my Humvee caught in the tank trap on the side of the road. Bro, you want to talk about embarrassed? I got out of it. I remember we were just playing war games, going, driving around, having fake ops. It was so cold in Korea, man. I had a beard because I had a no shaving shit. Because of shaving, I had PFB, pseudofolliculitis barbate, razor bumps.
Is that the bump? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I had my beard was thick on this side and thinner on this side, or whichever one, I forget we was driving. Man, it was so cold in Korea. Remember the old sleeping bags that got warmer? The less clothes you had on, the warmer I was butt naked in a sleeping bag, cold as shit in Korea, dog. Inside a Humvee with the heater on.
About how cold it gets in Korea, man.
Korea, I thought Fuji was shit. Fuji ain't got shit on Korea. And Korea was one of the grayest places, man, because Japanese during the war, they ravaged that place. Yeah. They ravaged that place. But so I remember sometime like in Korea, what we would trade like a MRE for a moon pie, noodles, and a Coke. Because for some reason, no matter how much we was out in the sticks, there was always somebody out there to sell us some shit.
Yeah.
So I remember one time we were in there's a bunch of Humvees, and we're driving in procession. Now on the left and the right side of us are rice fields. Well, somebody made a mistake. We're going to have to turn around. Now, there was maybe a foot on each side from the tires of the Humvee. You want to talk about a 3,000 point fucking turn in a Humvee?
Is that what you just doing?
We all had to, dog. And now imagine me driving a Humvee, a 300 point turn, dog. And it was like inches until we eventually was able to turn around and go back. Because we'd have been sitting in the damn rice fields, man. I remember going to Ant Hill because at the time, we had in the Humvees we had Motorola gear, and then we had the Marine Corps gear.
Okay.
Well, the Marine Corps gear didn't work.
Shit.
Big surprise. We used the Motorola shit. That Motorola shit was dope. But we went to this thing called Antenna Hill because at the time the radios were considered line of sight. So the Antenna Hill was basically like relay sites. Bro, I'm driving up. A road, I got maybe 8 inches before like hundreds of foot drop in a Humvee going up the Humvee. You're talking about ass so tight, bro. I could have backed up in the corner and pulled out a brick. Bro, my asshole was crunched. I'm driving. I'm trying not to be shook. I'm looking like, oh, shit. Got up there, man. So in Korea, man, it wasn't the funnest time, but, I still managed to have some good times, man. Then guess what happens?
You get extended again.
No. I extended by then because I had been in Okinawa for a year and a half. I decided, fuck it. I'm just going to go ahead.
So you did another 12 months or something?
Yeah, I did another 6 months, and then I got the free trip home. Because before, if you extended for a year.
It was what? It was a free trip
home or $50 extra or $100 extra a month or some shit.
Yeah.
They gave us the jokes.
Yeah.
Man, you know what I'm saying?
So then that took you to 3 years?
No, that was my second year. That was my second year.
You did 6, but the 6 months took you to 2,
yes.
And then the extension took you to 3.
No, we still at the 6. We still at the second year mark because Mount Pinatubo erupted.
Was that what, Philippines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
what year was that?
91. Okay. So we were the GCE, the ground combat element for the MAGTAF for 91. So, I'm sorry. Let me rewind. I'm sorry, folks. After Korea, I went to Bangladesh. There was a cyclone that had hit Bangladesh, tore it to pieces, bro, to pieces. So I went, because I told you, I always volunteer to deploy. So I'm in Bangladesh. But I went with Major General Stagpole. He asked for 4 operators, radio operators, not special operations operators, just so we can get it clear. I ain't fronting. So we fly out of Fatima on a C-130. The first place we land, the Philippines. And I'm wondering, he said, bring civvies. Okay. I'm like, why are we stopping up the Philippines? Liberty. We wasn't there. We stayed there for like 2 days. 2 days at Philippines. Excuse me. Now the Philippines, no. Stepped off the base there in McSai, right? Beautifully green. Beautiful. The most colorful place I've ever seen. Little brown women everywhere. Baisam. Supposed to be something, but they would just say Baisam. Right? So we spend 2 days there. Then we go from there to Thailand, Utapao. From Utapao, we stayed in a hotel in Utapao. Liberty. We ain't do no military work at all in Philippines or in Thailand, right? So we go to Pattaya Beach, world famous Pattaya Beach. That's the first time I ever seen a European man in a thong walking hand in hand with a little boy.
Oh shit.
Dude, okay. I had dude, I'ma tell you, it took like 3 dudes to keep me from running up on that cat. Cause I was about to run up on that cat and stomp him the fuck out. I was appalled. Leathery skin ass old dude, man, that was just the worst. And I remember going, so we're walking up Pattaya, right? And I hear chocolate. I don't see nobody. Mm. I hear chocolate man. Hey, chocolate man. Disembodied voice talking about some chocolate man. Hey, chocolate man. I'm like, what the fuck? What the hell? Carts of animals that I did not recognize. I'm like, street food. I'm like, carts down. Carts with animals that I'm like, what the hell is that? Mongoose or some shit? So I was hungry. We was hungry and wasn't none of us that adventurous. So luckily we found an A&W and a KFC. Now, what do you think I did when I ordered that burger at A&W? Don't think I ain't flipped that bun and fucking give it a thorough inspection. Like, all right, listen, you're not going to be selling me no monkey meat burgers. You know what I'm saying? So I took a bite very cautiously with the one canine, like let my tongue hit it and shit. Do the analyze like, all right, that feel like hamburger. Okay, we good. And we stayed there for 2 days. I remember being in my hotel room. I get a knock, dum, 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 at my door because we had to drink bottled water. We could not drink our water out of the faucets in Thailand because you had the shits. Yep. Yes. So this guy comes in. He now open the door. First, he has like a bunch of water. Hey, you want water? I'm like, yeah, let me. So I got a few bottles. Close the door. A few minutes later, dum, 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 dum. I'm like, what the hell? Open the door. Guess what he got now? Like 5 or 6 women. Do you like? I'm like, no, I'm good. Because at the time, the AIDS rate was really rampant in Thailand. Oh, yeah. And I wasn't touching shit. I was like, hell no, dog. I'm good with this water.
Well, just in the world, too.
Hell yeah. But I ain't going to lie. My shit was harder than Superman's elbow. My shit was diamond hard.
You're like, no, give me some Vaseline.
I closed the door and I was like, hell no. So then we flew out of Thailand, and then we went to Chittagong, which is southern part of Dhaka. I'm sorry, Dhaka in Bangladesh, which is the southern part of Bangladesh. And then we got a convoy up to the northern part, Chittagong. That place had been hit hard, bro. I mean, it was so bad that there were boats inland, like miles inland. Wow. That cyclone had fucked that place up. So we were staying inside of a school right next to the Bengali Air Force Base. Right? Now, we couldn't drink the water, obviously. So all the water we drank was in the water purifiers. I don't know if you ever had water out of it. They taste like fucking pool water. Yeah. We used to have to put the MRE Kool-Aid in our canteens just to be able to drink it, and it still tastes like pool water. So I'm doing radio watches for, because they're basically helping people, relief operations and whatnot. So I'm up in the tower, with the first time I ever met an Air Force combat controller. Now, as Marines, we used to think the Air Force is mad soft. This is a combat controller. He was like 30 something at the time. I'm 19. So he's like, hey man, after this shift, you want to run PT? I'm like, all right, yeah, sure. Okay, cool. So we starting off. And by this time I'm gungy, so I'm running. He's like, we're running, we talking. Yeah, man, we good. He said, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. That's cool. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm thinking this old man, all I heard was and I'm looking at ass cheeks and fucking elbows get further and further away as I'm damn near sprinting. Hard, dude. He was hard. He took off my ass like it was shit. I remember one time too in Bangladesh, we were staying. Okay, so I said we were staying in the schools, so we were sleeping in cots. I mean, in bunk beds that were metal, and we had to have the mosquito screen, the mosquito netting, because if you didn't, the mosquitoes would eat your ass alive. I used to have to take showers in there with my mouth closed because we're in the because if you let that water get in your mouth, you was gonna have a runny ass.
Yeah.
And then they had it where like all the trash, they would dump it in this dump. So every Marine had trash duty. So it was my turn. They was like, this is your first time with trash duty? I'm like, yeah. They was like, prepare yourself. I'm like, fuck, it's trash, man. I mean, yeah, it's going to stink, but. So I go and dump this trash, man. And this little girl, beautiful little girl, man, runs up and starts digging out of the trash. Bro, when I want to tell you, my heart sunk into my stomach, man. And see, this is what, when we go to places like, what is considered third world countries, it really does make you appreciate how good we got it. Because we may think that we may have it bad, but there's somebody who always has it worse. You know what I mean? So it really gave me appreciation of what I had, of my situation in life, man, by looking at it. I actually had a friend. His name was Bilal. He was in the Bengali Air Force because, it was a joint operation. Me and him were friends. We wrote a few letters, but, over the years, of course, we fell back. So in that time, when the cyclone in Bangladesh happened, Mount Pinatubo erupted. I just came back to Okinawa, right? Remember that girl, UK Nakamura? She hits me up. She's pregnant. I'm like, oh shit. Damn, I didn't know what to do. She's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do. And, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm going to try to get up there. Cause I was taking MAC flights up there to visit her. That's how I was, out of Kadena taking MAC flights, $10, no problem. And I couldn't. They couldn't because I was getting ready to go to the Philippines. Now here's where I was pissed off about the Marine Corps. This would be really kind of one of the situations that really said, all right, you know what, me and the Marine Corps, we kind of having a difference of opinion. Because I had, like I told you previously, I'd always volunteered for deployments, always. Rogers, hey, I'll go. So I went to my commo, Lieutenant Dirt Jack. Yeah, you probably don't even remember me if you ever listened to this, but I remember you. I was like, hey, listen, sir, this is what's going on. I explained the whole situation. I need some leave, because I need to go and, kind of support this girl. She's going through it right now. Boom, boom, boom. Nah. So that put me into a fit of depression. And I had to go see the chaplain and whatnot, and I really wanted to leave here then. Because I was just in a very bad mental space. So we go to the Philippines, right? And I told you we're the GCE for the MAGTAF, the Ground Combat Element. Now, when I went to the Philippines on the way to Bangladesh, remember I told you I saw the green, lush, beautiful, colorful Philippines. When we got there this time, after Mount Pinatubo erupted, it looked like it snowed. Volcanic ash everywhere.
Jeez.
Everywhere, brother. Everywhere. It was just like, wow, man.
Did you guys have to wear masks or anything like that? Or
no. It's amazing. I ain't wheezing.
You put in a VA claim or something?
No, I haven't. I haven't even done the VA thing.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't. I leave that for the people that really need it. Because that's bad karma. That's bad juju. I ain't out here faking shit because you fuck around and money ain't worth that. Yeah. Quality of life is the best thing for me. So we there in the Philippines. Now, that's when I get introduced to Red Horse beer. If you ever had Red Horse beer, the people out there, you know what I'm talking about. That beer was sweet, smooth, and it was like cock diesel, if you know what I'm talking about. And I ain't talking about muscles. Yo, I mean, Oh my God. I remember the first girl I met, her name was Guy, and she spelled her name Ghuy. And she spoke like she was from Jamaica. She had like a Jamaican accent, but she wasn't. The accent to me sounded like it was Jamaican. So she worked in this shop that I was, I used to go visit, whatnot, not bars, because I tried to pull one out of the bar, but, I'll tell you that story in a minute. I remember her, man, she was cool as shit, you know what I'm saying? Got with her, and then there was this other girl named Cecile Garcia that was in this club called Hot Tracks. It had a road runner in it. And for those that remember McSci Avenue, when you go down McSci, right to the left-hand side, that club with the road runner on was Hot Tracks. Y'all remember that one. Y'all remember it. You know what I'm saying? Man, McSci stand up. So I remember when I'm in there and, she's dancing. She fine, a little too mestiza, like the Spanish kind of Filipina, mestiza, right? She in there and I don't know, we talking and whatnot. And she's trying to game me on, buy me a drink. I'm like, nah, yo, I'm good. I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying? And somehow we get into an argument. Don't know. I can't even remember why. All I remember is this is the first time I got introduced to a pak yo. It's like, what? Pak yo. I said, you mean, puck me with a hockey? You playing hockey around this one? No, pak yo. That's another time I realized how efficient they are with ashtrays. Whoosh! Ashtray whizzes at me. I duck and shit. I'm like, I'm out of here. I bounce. So I played the cat and mouse game with her and shit like that, and the funny thing was, now remember I told you about those barracks that I went to when I first came in on Hanson?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, there was 3rd Med Battalion that was in those barracks too, and there was this dude named Lucky that I knew from Hanson. Come to find out, she was fucking with him. This is how small the world is. She was fucking with him. You know what I'm saying? I hope we good on time, brother.
You good.
Okay, because I got stories, baby. I got stories, homie. You know what I'm saying? So we playing basketball on the Philippines. We playing basketball, and he out there playing basketball. And I look to the side in the damn bleachers, and there she is. She shook. She looking around and shit, because I done been to the house and everything but she never gave me no nothing. It never panned out. She played me. She got me. So I got tired of that game. And so I deal with this girl named Josie. This is the first time I got to clap.
And then your phone goes off.
All right, hold on. Oh no, it's just a notification. So this is the first time I got to clap. Guess what the name of the club was?
Club Clap?
Hot Lips.
Oh.
I could not make this shit up. Hot Lips. How appropriate. So, because this girl named Josie, she because I'm in the bar and, she over there dancing. I mean, this girl got a body out of banging. So, banging, bro. I mean, banging. I'm like, damn, these little Filipino chicks are thick. I mean, ooh. So she in there gyrating and shit. She comes and talks to me, and she trying to run game. Now, I'm from Detroit. Now, I only be 19 years old, but I'm from the city. She was like, yeah, you buy me a drink, play my bar paying. I was like, oh, no. What time you get off work? Yo, you know what I'm saying? What time you get off work? Oh, well, I get off work at 12. Now, we had Cinderella Liberty in the Philippines.
Oh, was it like, what, midnight?
Yeah, midnight.
Curfew?
So I was like, well, yo, check this out. Why don't you write your address down on this piece of paper right here? She wrote her address down, right? I said, I'll holler at you later. Went back on base. Snuck out. Well, not snuck out, walked out. I don't know why they didn't. Yeah. They said Cinderella Liberty, but they let me out. Got into a Jeep me. Now imagine my big ass on them little fucking trikes. You know what I'm saying? I'm in looking like Magilla Gorilla in a damn fucking toy car and shit. Arms and shit hanging out the side. And I give old boy, hey man, take me to this address. So I get, he takes me there. I get there. So I'm upstairs. I'm talking to her and whatnot. And she was like this. She was like, you want a condom? Now me and my dumbass 19-year-old logic, I'm thinking, oh shit, she asked me for a condom. She good then. I don't need one. No, she asked you for a condom because she knows she was in there burning like the sun. You see how thinking with your small head can lead you astray? So she gets on, man. She's doing her thing. That's the first time I've ever been squatted. Oh my God. So I'm out on the field op. Red Beach. I go to go pee, and I look down. I'm like, damn, what's this lint from my damn? Oh, must be some lint. Head of the man, lint. All right, move the lint out the way. Man, that was weird. Pee. All right, cool. I get back to, we get back to Garrison. We up in the upper meth camp. I gotta pee. I go to pee. Feel like razor blades, bro. I was like, oh my God. I never have felt any pain like that in my life. I was like, oh my God. Oh, what is this? Had to go to the doctor. Had to go to doc. Disocycline shot. But first to do that, what they do, for those that remember, you know what punching the boar is. You remember that, don't you? Talking about they telling you to relax while they stick some cold fucking swab up in your manhood. Up in your manhood. Like, relax, please. All right, motherfucker. So whenever you got, a disease like that, and that was it was so common. You know what I'm saying? It was something that happened there. Young people. It was bound to happen. They give you the shot of disocycline and you're restricted to base for a week. That was the worst week of my life. Because
you were quarantined.
Dudes was like, see you later, Rogers. I'm like, I want to go too, man. But I was shook, man. To pee, made me shook for pee for a while. Then I met this girl named Marissa. She worked into the shop.
This is like that LL Cool J song.
You know what's funny? A lot of chicks, and then we're going to get to the club thing, but a lot of chicks in the club, he's always, LL Cool J me dying. A lot of chicks, think that.
Did you wear a Kango hat?
Hell no. Hell no, I ain't wear no Cool J. But they always say that. Maybe my flavor, maybe my swag was kind of like LL. They here in Okinawa, they always tell me that.
So what year did you get out?
I got out in 93.
93.
Yeah, so, I came back from the Philippines.
Did you have to go back to the States?
No.
Okay.
So I met a little lady here, and I decided I wanted to work. I wanted to stay here because about that time I fell in love with Okinawa, right? Fell in love with Okinawa because I saw Okinawa through a lot of my half friends. I met my half friends from a guy who was Vietnamese that I met in Bangladesh. He put me to this place called Plaza Video. For those that remember, who have been in Okinawa, Plaza Video, Joe stand up. So Joe he was an expat, a Navy expat who had, his wife was Japanese. He had 2 sons. So we became friends because I was always over there, renting videos or whatnot.
Where was this video store at?
It was right by Plaza Shopping Center. Okay. It's gone now.
Oh, okay.
It was a premier. That was the place that everybody rented videos. Is
it the one that's right across from that new Japanese police station? Is it still there? Is the building still there?
Yes, it's still
empty.
there. Yes, it's the brown. It's the brown one on the corner.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Anybody who's been to Okinawa, you remember Plaza Video? I'm sure you do, and there's some people out there that remember it. So his sons and I became good friends. So then I was kind of into cars at that time. I bought me a nice little hot rod, whatnot.
Let me guess, Skyline?
No. I bought a Toyota Corona. So, we would go drive and go to Henza and things like that, go drifting. And this is before Tokyo Drift screwed it up because that movie is garbage. I'm part of the original real drift culture of Okinawa, okay? Before drifting, drifting and Zero Yon and the whole 9. Not with doggone neon lights underneath. Hell out of here with that corny garbage. And them GT wings on a damn family car. You need your ass whooped. So, I got to see Okinawa differently. I wasn't hitting the clubs then. Mm-hmm. I was just driving around, hanging out. We would all meet up at McDonald's in Plaza. Mm-hmm. I know people remember Voyager. There's some people out there that remember Voyager in Plaza, in the McDonald's in Plaza. I know y'all remember. For those that have been in Okinawa, that was the spot. And if you've seen a bunch of half kids and a black man hanging out there, you know what I'm saying? That was me with the flat top. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, we would drive around and go to different car shops and look and stuff like that. And that was fun at night going to different car shops. And the half kids really pulled me in, man. The half kids, I don't know why, because half kids are really, 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 what do you want to call it? Selective of who they hang with. They usually hang with other halves. They don't really hang out with Americans much like that because they're caught in between.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you grew up in the States, so I'm not sure how that was. But over here, you weren't quite American. You weren't quite Okinawan. So you're kind of in that gray area. So they kind of stayed, the halves kind of like, they stayed with themselves because they knew they had, and a lot of them spoke Japanese. That's how I started speaking Japanese because they would speak champuru, English, Japanese, English, Japanese. And they used to drive me crazy when they used to do it. I'm like, yo, please stick with one language. But guess what? I do it now. And then I started taking college courses. And then, of course, in being here 30 years, I think people would think I put it this way. I've spoken to Japanese contractors, because that's what I do at work. I deal with Japanese contractors. A lot of them don't know I was American, let alone black, until they actually saw me. It was like, what? Huh? Roja-san? Huh? And their eyes bucking and banging. So, we would drive around and stuff like that, And then I started working at FM. I started working at my job, right? And so it was kind of hard here, man. Because we weren't making that much. But I had sofa because I was working for MWR at the time, right? So to make ends meet, I started working in the club, Pyramids.
Where were we?
Yeah, so we was talking about
half kids hanging out.
Half kids hanging out and stuff like that.
Pyramids.
Now the half kids didn't really like some of them went to Pyramids. Some of them didn't. You had the hardcore drifters, and then you had the ones that was out there, going to the clubs and stuff like that. So when I started working at Pyramids, some of my half friends that was drifting didn't really like that. They was like, "Hey T, what you doing, man? Come on, man. That's the craziness." But I needed to make loot because MCCS. They wasn't paying much.
Yeah.
They wasn't paying
Still
them much. No, okay, you ain't lying there. I'm doing all right, but I could be doing better.
Yeah,
But
you needed a side hustle.
Yes, so I started working part time, and see at the time when I told you when I first came to Okinawa, Manhattan's was the hip hop club. Pyramids. You couldn't go there unless you were a staff NCO, and you had to go there in a suit, and you had to have a Japanese girl with you because they played house music a lot there. Because when I was up at Hanson, my friend who was really into house music would he would have house contests at Pyramids. But I wasn't going. I dropped him off a few times because I had my license and whatnot. So when I started working, this guy named Big John was working there. Big ass brother. I mean, he was huge. He was like 280. Huge, bro. And another brother named Larry, Maglite Larry. He used to carry a Maglite. You know what I'm saying? And then my boy Sean Watkins.
Maglite Larry.
Maglite Larry. He was half.
Okay.
He was born and raised here. Cockstrong. You know what I'm saying? He used to wear, he looked like Jesus. And people that may be listening to this may remember that guy who looked like Jesus with the Maglite. Yeah, he might have popped you upside your head a few times too if you got unruly. So the first night I worked at Pyramids, right, I was shook. Because I'm like, damn, because Pyramids, they was fighting. But they was really fighting in this club called, and I'm about to bring one up for you guys, 8 Beat.
I never heard of it.
They used to call it the Beat Down. Oh boy, 8 Beat. People used to get now.
Where is that? Was it in Okinawa City?
Yes, it was around the corner because it was all owned by the same company. 8 Beats, Apple House, Pyramids, Manhattan, Champs. They were all owned by the same company. The same, and these companies, they was the dudes with the, with the little smaller pinkies, if you understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It was them cats who they would own the clubs. So I remember coming in working at Pyramids the first day. And I'm in there mad goofy. I had on like a T-shirt, some sweatpants, and some gym shoes and shit, right? So I'm in there, and I remember the first fight that broke out, I froze. I was like, I didn't know what to do. So Larry and them went out there and broke the fight up. Larry came up on me. Now, Larry comes right here to my damn chest. He's like, yo, you better get your head in the... He's getting at me, and I'm looking at him like, all right, dog. All right. We became friends and roommates later. What's up, Larry? If you listen to this, is Big T. You know what I mean?
Were you lifting weights? Were you?
At that time, not really. No, I was swimming a lot. Because I used to always go to Tropical Beach and swim because I was working.
I met you one time. I don't want to take you off your story.
It's good, man.
I remember when I was in the Marine Corps, I already knew you from Jaguars, right? Uh-huh. But I ran into you at Tropical Beach. I think you rode on your Chitensha, your bicycle down there. I think you did at that time.
No, I wasn't on a bicycle, but you might have. But go ahead.
But you had a fanny pack with tuna, like cans of tuna, with the can opener.
That was Shaq that you met.
No, this was you.
Was it me?
This was you.
Oh shoot,
this was you.
Oh shoot, I might.
And there's only 2 people rocking a fanny pack back in the early 2000s: my pops and you.
Early 2000s? No,
Yes.
that wasn't me.
That was you.
Not no
Big
early
T.
2000s. I wasn't wearing no fanny pack,
You
dog.
had a fanny pack with. You did.
No, check it out.
You had a
Because
can of tuna.
let me tell you, early 2000s, I wasn't even working at Pyramids back then.
No, I'm talking about Tropical Beach.
If I was going there, it was very sporadically. Yeah, we was going there because F&B, people at F&B, we was going there in the 90s. It might have been. You might have been. You're right. You might, because, everything's a blur to me. You know what I'm saying? From 90 to now, it's all a blur. So it's possibly you did, but go ahead, tell the story.
I'm just saying you had a fanny pack with cans of tuna.
You know what I might have been. You know what? You're right. It might have been. Damn.
Of course, my skinny ass couldn't say shit to you because I was like, "Damn, this guy's gonna fucking fuck me up."
Damn, you might have been right. Damn.
But
okay.
you've always been. I know you've always like watched what you eat, and you're
right.
always lifting, always been in fitness.
Well, not always. I did try to in the Marine Corps. I would lift here and there and stuff like that. I ran a lot in the Marine Corps, but I will tell you this: my last year in the Marine Corps, I got fat because I was working at the Mars station and I had took my final physical. In the Marine Corps, you know what that means? No PT. I ain't do shit. But when I got out the Marine Corps, I started running. Ain't that funny? You get out the Marine Corps and start running. I ran every day. And that's kind of how I got famous. I ain't going to say famous. I got a little more well-known because everybody, oh, you that guy that's always running all the time. Because I used to always run between Foster and Kubasaki. I mean, well, that area. I forget what housing area it is. I would always run up and down there because I lived outside.
Like Leicester and all that?
No, because I lived outside where the hospital is. The hospital is now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
In Ginawan, I lived out there.
Is it Chatan?
I lived in Cuna.
Cuna, okay.
It's so I was always running and whatnot, and then I ran myself thin, and then again I started working at Pyramids. I really started lifting seriously when I started working at Pyramids because it's a physical deterrent and part of the job I didn't want to be weak. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to look strong and be strong. And of course I had lifted sporadically, and the guy who hired me, John, he was a big ass dude. So he really got me into gym kind of like regularly, like, yo man, you come on, let's get this in, right? So that's he kind of kicked that off because I was going to old school Gunners gym. For those that remember it, the old school Gunners, not the new fitness center there with a bunch of, dependent wives walking around here with butt floss on and all of that. Nah, we talking about Gunners gym with the stink, the funk, the old mold that's really, when you smelled it, it made the hair on the back of your neck stand up. She really wanted to get it in. That's Gunners gym. The pit.
Now it's just grass.
Yeah. I mean, anytime I drive by there, man, I'm like, damn, man. I had some epic workouts there. Because I had one time, and we'll get back to the pyramid stories and all that, but one time I had tried to, I was going to do a bodybuilding show. Because it was peer pressure. All the dudes and yo, T, man, come on, man, do this show. And I'm like, man, dog, I ain't walking in my drawers. Dude, look at, you know what I'm saying? My drawers standing here posing on stage in bikinis. Nigga, what you talking about? Hell no. But again, I succumbed to peer pressure. And I had gotten to about like 10% body fat. I was shredded until I got them damn bikini things in the in the mail. Looked at them damn things like, oh, threw them in the garbage. Whoop, and I did not go. No, that wasn't me. I never did lift so I could be sitting here flexing for people on stage. I've
always thought those guys have great discipline.
They do. Yeah. They have very great discipline, and it's very hard. You know what I'm saying? And I commend guys that do that. That just ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not you got to be somewhat of an exhibitionist to do that. If you think about it, you got to kind of be like, all right, you want to show I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Because if you seeing me this naked, then there may be some reciprocation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about to the other sex. And we just so we don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it just wasn't my thing. I just really wasn't into that. I really didn't want to do it. And I didn't do it, especially when I saw them draws. Like, I ain't good. I'm good. Next, but it did help me for the security side of the thing. It did help me for that, because Pyramids, in case people don't realize, in Okinawa was one of the best clubs on the island. One of the best clubs.
Whatever happened to those clubs? How come
they just, after the off limits thing kicked in.
Was that like late?
That was early 2000s. Because actually in '99 is when the first off limits kicked off, And well, there had been times sporadically in between the late 90s and whatnot. But then when they did it at 2000, I think it was 2000, 99, 2000, it didn't make, no, 99. When they did it in 99, it just didn't make the biggest comeback that it could. They just couldn't recoup, and then it just was an endless spiral. And then Utopia opened up, Slum got big, B Greens got big, you know what I mean? And people started going down to Naha, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just Pyramids couldn't, they tried in Manhattan and all those clubs. They did Else did pretty good because I was working in Else. I started working in Else in like 2002 because I had retired from working security, man, for a few years, man. A few years, bro. A few years I stopped, you know what I'm saying? Because the girl at the time that I was with, you know, she was like, because I was bad.
You were doing your thing.
I was doing my thing.
You were living.
I was living, and that, you know, and of course I'm a young man, you know, and you know what I'm saying, not too shabby on the eyes, you know what I'm saying, as far as the lady said it. I don't know about now.
LL Cool J.
You know what I'm saying, all that shit. Yeah, LL Cool J me time. Okay, well, you know, hey, if that's gonna, you know. What's happening then? All right, yo, who do you love? What's up?
But it's crazy. All those clubs don't even exist anymore.
No.
They're gone. They just have a short stint, and then they're gone.
No.
They're just a memory.
Just a memory. I mean, and now I kind of feel bad for the guys now. How are they meeting ladies? Because especially with COVID.
Yeah.
How are you meeting ladies? How are you now?
Can you take your mask off really quick? I want to see what you
Yeah. Let me take that mask off. All right, you ain't busted. But, you know, back then, the girls, okay, I will say this. The way girls look now and the way girls look back, like in the 90s, totally different. Totally different. Like, okay. But you know, for these new jacks, you know, you got to look at the pioneers who put who put boots to the ground. You know what I'm saying? Who paved the way for you to be able to enjoy these little yummy things. You know what I'm saying? You know, you better give homage because, you know, we put in work. in Japanese American relations, you know what I mean? Yeah, but you know, so I mean, I know you may, you know, I've been kind of like, you know, what do you want to say, dictating this podcast, but you know, ask me some questions, some things that you want to know, man. You know,
when you actually decided to live here. You didn't have to separate back in states?
No, which was a miracle because at the time, you either had to be, number one, married to a Japanese, or number two, sergeant and above. I was neither. What I did was this. In 92, because I did a little bit of pre-planning. I was like, you know what? Well, I think I'm going to live here. Because I didn't want to go back to the States, but I wanted to get out of the active duty Marine Corps. I was thinking, now, me and the Marine Corps, we need to part ways. You know what I mean? So I started working part-time at the Habu Pit as a cook. So I told my manager at the time, hey, listen, this is my plan. I plan on getting out. I already had an apartment at the time, and out of Goose Crew right outside where the hospital gate is now. And I want to get sofa. Now, there was one guy, Tom Dominky. Tom Dominky. He was hating on that. Oh, you know, they're going to cause it. And I was like, you know, well, damn, dude, you know, where's the positivity? So he kind of was reluctant on assisting me, helping me out, you know, putting in a personnel action request to request sofa. Because at the time, I was a flex cook. But luckily, I had a manager. His name was John Makishi. JJ. He actually was he's half. He was kind of good. He was kind of famous for his music. Murasaki, as a matter of fact. Murasaki. He's actually part of Murasaki. His name is JJ.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he was my manager at the time. And so he fought for me. He was like, okay, I'll put in, if this is what you want to do, I'll try to do I'll try to help you. So, you know, I put in that personnel request. They changed the position from a flex to a full-time cook with sofa. But then here's the thing. See, when I got hired under military preference because I was in the Marine Corps at the time. Well, since they reclassified the job, they had to put it out on the local market. I mean, put it out in the market.
So military spouse preference, all that.
Yes, and guess what? Some dude who was a cook, military spouse preference, applied for the position. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's always a gamble, huh?
I was like, oh no. Oh, they made the position full time for me. But now I got to compete, and this guy so what my manager did was, man, he actually went and we met with this guy and we talked at Awase. We said, hey, listen, man, this job here, this guy here is trying to live, trying to make something of himself. He's trying to begin, he's trying to start a life here. There's a position at another place. Would you want you take that? Or would you mind taking that? And luckily, David Randall, if you out there, brother, man, thank you very much. Much love and respect, brother, because you actually helped me out very much, homie.
So it was David Randall that was applying for that position?
Yeah.
Wow.
David Randall.
Small world, man.
Huh?
If it's the same Dave Randall,
black guy is a black guy with like hazel eyes.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Okay,
maybe
yeah.
a different Randall. Okay.
But he took it, man. He was like, listen, bro, I understand, man. And he took it, and now here's the thing. In the interim of that, because it just took a while, I had applied for positions at Torrey Station, Coral Cove as a cook, and the guy Roger Kuliogowski. What's up, Roger? He was the manager at the time. He now runs Nihon Soko Seibi, which is a company that deals with cleaning on base. He was like, well, I'll hire you. I was like, oh, okay. So in the interim, they called me and said, hey, man, listen, David Randall decided to take that job. So I took the Fatima job, obviously, because that's what I applied for. And then I started working as a cook, man, and then I worked there for a few years. And then I applied for where I work at now as a maintenance helper, even though I had no maintenance experience. Got put on there, went from there to doing supply and then the rest is history. Yeah. So it was hard, though, man, because going back to your original thing, how did I get out here? I wasn't supposed to. I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
I was not supposed to be able to. But what I did was I went down to, come to the battalion, you know what I mean? And told them like, hey, listen, I got an apartment. You can't really say that I have a job because I need to get my DD-214 before I get a job.
Right.
So at the very least, hey, listen, I'm working part-time at this place. I have an apartment, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty much good to go. So they let me get out. They got Whiskey 95 here on the island.
Yeah.
Because, man, if I'd had to go back to the States and try to get back, and man, bro, hell no.
You probably would have never made it.
No. And, at that time, I didn't have because, we weren't required to have passports when I came here.
Right. Yeah.
We weren't.
Yeah.
Now, Marines had to, obviously, since then, and a little bit after that, they had to have passports.
It was really the wild, wild west.
Right.
Then.
It was the wild west. So I was floating. I gave my friend, I had a white plate car, but I gave it a power of attorney to him, but I was still driving it. I didn't have no SOFA license. I had no ID card. I was still working there until they had to stop and do the paperwork correctly. So in the interim, I started working at Sauce.
So that's what's so funny too, is that because you were like, you said you would either have to be married to some an Okinawan or Japanese, right?
Right.
Or you had to be a sergeant. Yeah. And I'm thinking, okay, if you're a sergeant, then how do you get SOFA? You have no passport.
Exactly. That
what happens?
Makes no sense. It makes no sense. And I wasn't getting married to stay here, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that. I wasn't going to get married just to live in Okinawa because a lot of my friends and a lot of people did that. And
well, that was the way, right?
That was the way, but it was like, yo, man, listen, you marrying this girl that you happen to like.
Lust and Sofa.
Yeah, Lust and bam, that's a new TV show, Lust and Sofa, you know what I'm saying? Lust and Sofa Okinawa. The dudes was doing that, man, and I ain't disrespecting anybody who did that, man, but it could have been a different way you could have done that because a lot of them, like a lot of dudes I know, man, they've been married 2 or 3 times. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going there, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, like 2 or 3, but here's the thing though. A lot of those dudes got married to stay here. Yeah. To screw around. You understand?
Yeah.
Married a girl to get, and then here's the thing that they didn't really think about because it's clear they didn't think this process over. She has you by, because she's your sponsor. She's got you by the fucking Ghanas. Man. She got you by the Huevos. Yeah. She got you. So all she had to do, but hey, listen, nah, I ain't sponsoring him. You stuck like Chuck, and you got to go.
I tell those young guys too when they tell me like, "Oh, I want to be like you. I want to stay out here." I'm like, "Really? Do you really want to stay out here? Like, why? What's your
you know why? Let
me
tell you. Yeah. Let me tell you why. Cause a lot of these dudes ain't got no game, and anywhere else on the planet,
they be shut down.
They be getting shot down, gunned down. Yep. You know what I'm saying? But over here, depending on, it's kind of, it is. It's a little bit easier, believe it or not.
You ain't lying.
Dudes ain't got no game.
I see guys with beautiful girls.
And you looking at them like, yo, how
did you pull that?
Come on, man. You caught her slipping. You know what I'm saying? And then these dudes get over here and they get this, they get this thing where they think they the man because they over here, they can kind of kick a little game because they have a novelty. Because they're a novelty, you know what I'm saying? And that kind of makes you think it kind of warps your sense of reality.
That's a great way to put it. You're a novelty.
You're a novelty. You go somewhere else, man, they be looking at you like, man, get your ass out of here. Get on out of here,
And then you go living with your mama in the basement.
Yeah, go home live. I definitely wasn't doing that. See, that was it. It was either struggle here or go back and live with my mom, and I wasn't going to do it. I'd rather struggle here, and I'm glad I did because struggle makes you a better person. It makes you learn. It makes you be able to adapt. And plus I loved it here. I stayed here, like I said, there was a girl I was dating when I was making the decision to stay here, but that wasn't the reason why I decided to stay here. I decided to stay here because there was something about Okinawa that over the years, even though it started off like, I can't wait to get the hell off this island, and I began to really appreciate Okinawa because I saw the real Okinawa. Not the clubs, because the clubs was much later. I got to see the real Okinawa, and it was just something that, I don't know, it was something that just spoke to me. I don't know. It's very hard to describe. I felt home here after a while, like I said, because initially I did not.
Do you think when you volunteered to go travel to these other countries like the Philippines, Korea, Bangladesh, you saw something too? Like you said, it made you appreciate
Yes, it did.
Things. And
my mom actually told me. She told me that when she was younger, she always wanted to travel. So we do know that there's a such thing as genetic memory, and there's things that are passed on in the DNA. We do know this, what they are and how they're done specifically, we don't know, but we do know. And my mom told me that I've always wanted to travel abroad. Even when I was a kid, I used to watch, in Detroit, I could watch French channels and Spanish channels. And I used to watch them as a kid, not understanding anything that they spoke, but I always watched those channels. I did learn French 4 years in high school. I studied French 4 years. So I always had an affinity for other cultures. I used to like Greek mythology. Loved Greek mythology. Really loved it. I mean, especially in junior high school. So I guess I've always wanted to see more of the world than what was presented to me So I think that's part of it. I got a chance to live in another country, way different than my own,
right?
Far from my own, and I think part of me maybe inherently knew that I needed to struggle in order to become a better version of myself. Because without struggle, there's no growth.
Yeah, I love, even to this day, maybe I'm getting a little bit more money, I'm a little bit more well off, but there's still a struggle here. You and I don't live on OHA, which is the off-base housing allowance.
No, we don't get none of that.
No one's paying for our utilities, but we're saving. We may have some other side hustle that we're doing to stay above water.
Right.
We're not keeping up with the Joneses like back in the States.
That is the biggest thing. I'm glad you mentioned that. That is one of the biggest things I think is an advantage of this place, is that we're not keeping up with the Joneses, because that can create stress, right? That creates stress, unneeded stress. Here, it's the island vibe. It's a nice, smooth, kind of like relaxed kickback where you actually sit back and you look. Because when you think about keeping up with the Joneses, what do you have to do in order to keep up with the Joneses? You have to be constantly on a hustle. Well, if you're constantly on a hustle, you're missing life because you're not appreciating it, because you're so busy concentrating on the next best thing, or keeping up with the Joneses, or keeping this what I want to say.
Yeah, but you're living to work.
Yeah.
And
I'm not with that.
You're selling your soul to the devil.
No. See, money has never been.
Right.
We are put on this earth to enjoy life, not to accumulate stuff. material things because you can't take it with you.
You mean like all the shit up here in my attic?
I mean, well, you know, I'm a very minimalistic person. I am. I don't keep shit.
Well, like 90% of that shit upstairs is my wife's, but yeah.
I was just getting ready to say my wife is a pack rat. And I'm like, listen, because when we moved into that house, when we moved in from our apartment to that house, I was like, listen, one thing we're not going to do is we're not going to get a bigger place so we can put more shit in it. We're not doing that. I'm a simple kind of guy. I like to live simply. That's what we doing. And, yeah, because, again, I've never been motivated by money. Money has never been, because I grew up without it. I didn't have no loot. I was broke. I was poor as shit in Detroit. As long as I could eat, got a roof over my mouth, and, I can do some things. And that stands true to today. I'm good. I'm about enjoying life. And you got to think about it, man. We are in a subtropical island, right? Lots of sun, lots of vitamin D, because that's important for us men. Yeah, I just made it a teachable moment. You know what I mean? I mean, it's very important. And stress, as stress-free living as you can have, it's a good thing. You know what I mean? It's good to be able to just enjoy life. And look at it, man. We can go we can go 20 minutes each way and look at the water, look at the ocean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the water's like 5K, right? It's right down the road.
We're very blessed to live in a place like this. We don't have all the distractions that maybe they have in the States or in geographically larger places. But we got a good quality of life here. I honestly, truly believe that. We got a good quality of life here. You know what I mean? Really. And the older you get, the more you put value on quality of life. Now, quality of life can change and be different depending on the person's perspective. However, at the very base of it all is to enjoy your life. Yep. Enjoy your life, man. We only get one. You ain't getting a redo. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm on, man. I'm trying to enjoy my life, brother. And this is the best place to do it. I love this place. Every time I wake up in the morning, man, I drive and I look to my right and I see that water on the way to Hanson. Yeah. And depending if it's raining or if it's not, I'm like, you know what? In Detroit, I would never see that on the way home when I'm driving and I look to the left. And if it's sunny or not, I'll see that water and I look at that and I'm like, you know what? It's good to be alive, man. I'm dead ass serious.
When I drive through Legion and I'm going down that hill, and you see, was it Hamby Town?
Yeah,
and you got that.
That's
the water.
That's a dope view.
You got Karama Island to your left, right there.
Yes,
it's fucking dope, man.
Especially on Kadena. Nah, I ain't going on that base, but if you go down the main drag
to Gate 1 down there,
Gate 1, man, and you look at that, you look at the ocean, man. It just gives you a feeling of peace. You know what I mean? Of peace. It really does, man. I mean, I noticed that thing because a friend of mine said something to me that resonated, and he was like, you know what? And he has been told this by an older gentleman. He was like, you know what? People don't really take time to just look. Just look. Just look where you at. Just look. And appreciate where you at.
Yeah.
Now, depending on where you at, looking may not be as good, but for us, it's a great thing. We can just look and be like, you know what? Damn.
We're so distracted nowadays.
Yeah, like these little demon boxes. This phone.
Star Trek phones.
My phone, I tell you what, my phone, when I get to work, it goes up on a charger and it's used as a Wi-Fi for my tablet that I listen to music to. When I get home, this goes on the charger. I miss so many. Not a lot of people call me anyway, but I barely look at this phone. My wife, on the other hand, that phone is glued to her.
I got bad habits with it too, though. I'll admit.
My daughter too. My daughter, they be on their phones, man. Me, give a damn about that damn phone. I really don't. I wouldn't even have got a smartphone. My wife, when she was working, I forget where she was working. She had to go TAD. The reason why she got that phone is so she could use Viber to call me and talk to me, through the phone.
Right.
That's why I got that smartphone, because had it not, I still had a flip phone.
Yeah.
Now, I do appreciate it at times. I mean, there are uses for it, but it's a tool. I use it. It doesn't use me. It's a difference.
Yeah.
It's a tool, and you use a tool and you put a tool away.
I was, during COVID, man, I got worried because I felt like you went ghost. For
me?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Oh, man,
I know. You ain't on it like I am.
I ain't on that. I'm really not. I'm not. You know what? My sister created that Instagram.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, so she could promote her personal training business.
Oh.
If it wouldn't have been for her, I wouldn't even have an Instagram account. I wouldn't even have it. I was like, man, I ain't fucking with that. I don't Facebook. I barely, if ever, look at that. And the only reason I created that was to keep in touch with my family members, and that my brothers and my sisters, they FaceTime me. That's how they get in contact with me. But that's it. Social media, that's pretty much all I use it for. I don't be out here posting every 5 minutes what I'm doing. Big brother's watching enough. I ain't trying to give him a show. He ain't gonna know. He ain't know what Big T doing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't. Every now and then, like I used to post when I used to camp or whatever, I was doing that mainly for my family. So when they're in the States, they could see, wow, give them some positive energy. That's why I would take pictures of that water. The spot that shall not be named, the spot, because it was just like, hey, listen, this is some positive energy that I'm sending here. Because, if you look at social media, man, it's very negative, very negative, very negative. And they had that Netflix show. What was that Netflix special?
The social media one, right?
Social Dilemma.
Yeah, Social Dilemma. Yep.
Yeah, man. I mean, people don't realize how social media really does warp your perception of reality. I mean, all the way down to like how you perceive yourself. Like, if you don't get likes, then you don't feel like you worth anything. Really? Likes on a phone?
Yeah.
That gives you your self-worth? I had to tell my daughter, listen, you are enough. You are good enough. Don't let nothing, no likes, don't let your life be dictated by likes. You know how fucking silly that is? That's silly. You have your own self-worth. Damn, you don't need it for external sources. You got to love you, because if you don't love you, how you expect anybody else to? And I love me. Shit.
Yeah. Do you go camping in the summertime? Like around this time?
Hell no. It's too hot, man.
Shit.
It's too hot, bro. I can't sleep when it's hot. I'm Atsugari. For those that don't understand, that means I generate a lot of body heat. I can't sleep with a hot, sticky neck. No, I can't do it, dog. I can't do it.
Dude, it's so fucking hot.
Bro, right, no. I wish, and you know what? I wish I could. I wish I could do that, but I'm not that man, yo. No, me and my wife both, no.
But I always see you at that spot before around this time.
But it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was to swim.
Oh, and it was early. Just pack up and go home, kind of like a one-day trip.
Or it was in the daytime. Or what you saw was like April, maybe late May.
May is like where you cut it off.
That's when I cut it off, like, whoop, and then I'll pick it back up like November, you know what I'm saying, October, November, time when it starts to cool off, then I'll take my happy black back out there. But when it's hot months, we do go like on Saturdays. We'll go in the morning, me and her. My daughter don't like to do nothing like that. She lazy. She's 15. You know how it is. Me and my wife, we'll go out there and we'll go swim at that spot. We'll go swim around, just get some sun, get some vitamin D. You know what I'm saying?
Snorkel.
Yeah, play in the water a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And bounce, really, and bounce. And it's just something that we do, because I noticed that, man, you do the same thing, man. You out there.
I like to get out.
You like to enjoy life. I'll be peeping you, man, and that's really dope. That's very dope, man.
I appreciate that.
That's very dope that you do that, brother. I'll be like, yeah, he out there enjoying life.
I have to have a balance.
Yeah, you have to. You have to, man, because, again, we're in a stage of our life where, testosterone's on the decline, and I know that this, like, what does this got to do with, your testosterone being on decline will affect your happiness. Your happiness, because testosterone is what gives men their confidence, their decision-making abilities, how they feel, and all of that. And like I said, being out in the sun, vitamin D3, natural source of vitamin D3, actually supports testosterone production. That's real life. Less stress.
Yep.
Helps with testosterone.
That was
production.
The thing right before we took that break is when I ran into you at the PX on Kadena.
Oh yeah.
And you gave me, like, we were just talking, like, catching up. What's up?
Yeah.
And you put me on this education of minerals and what did you tell everybody?
Okay, so magnesium. Mm-hmm. This is what most men should take, because most Americans are deficient in this. Vitamin D3 first. Vitamin D3 is not really a vitamin; it's a hormone. It's produced naturally through the skin with exposure to the sun. A lot of black people are very vitamin D3 deficient. Number one, because our skin is darker, so that means that the UV rays don't penetrate. We got natural sunblock, so we need to stay in sun longer. And, you know, I ain't trying to be funny, but a lot of black people don't like the sun. They like, nah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Me, I love the sun. Magnesium is essential for so many functions of the body. Zinc is good for testosterone production, right? For men. What else? I take...
Remember, it was those three things.
Yeah, well,
or was it magnesium citrate?
Yeah, magnesium citrate. Yep. Magnesium citrate. I take magnesium threonate too. Sometimes I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's this magnesium formula I take when I sleep because you know, I work out a lot, so I grow. You grow when you sleep. Your body repairs itself when you sleep, and I like to sleep. Me, I don't be staying up like 12 o'clock at night. Yeah. I'm in bed before 10 o'clock, and I'm up at between 5 and 5:30. But I go to bed before 10, bro. I ain't staying up late. Yeah. Because you got to remember, me working late at night in the period and working out in them clubs, I got no sleep. So sleep is very essential to me. And
water.
This H2O. That's why I carry this thing everywhere I go, man. Everywhere I go. Water is so important. So important.
So someone like us who's living in Okinawa all the time, or if you and I are always out at the beach or at out in the sun, do I need to be taking that vitamin D3?
Heck yeah, you still do.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't hurt at all. I do. I take 10,000 IUs, which is 2 pills, IU international units.
I think you gave me like 1,000. What was funny that day is we had that conversation in the PX, and then like 10 minutes later, I'm talking to somebody,
right?
And I see like this bottle of zinc fall into my cart. And I let go, and you're like 15 feet away. You're at the what do you call it? All the vitamins there, and you're grabbing it. You're like, you need this. You like chucked it in my cart. And you need this. You chucked it in my cart.
Yeah, man. I mean, because I do a lot of research. I listen to a lot of podcasts when it comes to men's health, especially men in our men's. I don't even believe I said that. Men in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? Because what we do know is that men after 30. Our testosterone starts to decrease. I think they say by 2% every year, right? Right? Mm-hmm. And my wife is 7 years younger than me. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So, right? and we on Okinawa.
Yeah.
Okinawa is what, a big Three Musketeer convention? You know what I'm saying? Bunch of swords just swinging around. Nah, homie, I'm not. Nah, homie, I'm not. Nah. Hey, my wife ain't gonna be food for the streets. Yeah. And like I said, of course, it's just testosterone production is very good and health. I mean, like I said, this all goes into wellness, man. I mean, that's kind of the general gist of everything. I'm trying to stay alive, trying to stay alpha, trying to stay masculine, because we being emasculated.
Yeah,
the society as it is, and like I say, man, I'm not hating on anybody, but to be a masculine male seems to be wrong, and I don't understand what that is about at all. We're not. No one says in this toxic masculinity thing. Okay, I don't understand that. Toxic masculinity. Okay,
it's just a bunch of people.
It's just a bunch of talking points, man. What's wrong with being a man? What's wrong with thinking like a man? No one said be abusive. No one said be controlling, but there is nothing wrong with being masculine. And I'm going to be masculine to the day I die. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice still. I'm a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? I am. I mean, seriously.
You are. You're a great dude, man.
I try to be, man, because again,
every time I see you, man, you've always been the nicest person.
Yeah.
I see you probably once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Always been open.
You know why? Because I think that, when you meet a person or when you're talking to a person and a person interacts with you, it's good to leave them with some positive energy, vice being a energy vampire. And I know you've met them where you've talked to a person, after you talk to them, you feel drained, like you want to go lay down some damn where. I never want to be that kind of guy. And no one should ever want to be like that. Yeah. You want to be uplifting. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, you ain't got to be somebody's fool, but it's always good to have positive energy, man. I think that if everyone were to treat people with respect and positive, and with positive energy, the world probably wouldn't be in the state it is now. I think it'd be in a much better state. So people say you can't change the world. Well, you can try, and the only person you can control is yourself. So if every person did their part, man, I believe that this shit can get right. I mean, without getting all philosophical and all of that,
No, it's all good. I think if you can change your community. Yeah, your own little circle and stuff.
Yeah, man. Remember that movie, Pay It Forward? Mm-hmm. Hallie Joel Osment? Perfect example. He said, hey, don't, you pay it forward. I do something nice for you. You pass that forward. And let it go. And it creates a chain reaction, man. Especially now, like I said, with all the negative energy going around and all the things that are going around the world, which is always going to be. So, excuse me, there should be some balance. There has to be balance in the world. Everything is about balance. When people get cancer, the reason why, because their body is out of balance. When you're out of balance, that affects everything, man. It does. Balance is so important. And so, I try to balance things out by being a positive dude. Negative stuff, I really don't. And I may clown people. You gonna get some jokes. I may clown. I clown people from time to time, but that's all in good fun. And I can take a clowning too. I can give it and receive it. It's cool. Yeah, man.
But that was one of the things about you too, was at the club.
Oh yeah.
I know I showed my ass.
Oh really?
All the time. I was fucking acting like a fool. And I'm just glad you didn't beat the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember you had some
and I think you knew like this kid's young, I'm going to take him under my wing. I'm going to make sure he gets home safe. Go ahead.
I got to bring this one up, dog.
Go ahead.
Because I bring this, every time I talk about you, I bring this story up.
I know where you're going with this.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I remember.
This will be the perfect story to end it. Okay, go.
Stomu. B Greens.
Is that his name?
That's the dude's name.
Stomu?
And Stomu at B Greens. Bruh. He was in, because Stomu had a history of popping shit and not having an ass to back it up. And I know you. Man, you was a good dude. I said, man, you know what I'm saying? Joe, good dude. Isamu. I don't remember.
That's right.
Yeah, Isamu was a good dude, man. I remember, man, when you
beat his fucking ass.
When you judo flipped him, man, dog, you judo flipped his spirit out. I didn't know that you had skills.
I thought I killed him, to be honest.
I didn't know you had skills, man, until it was like, wham! I was like, oh, I seen his spirit just go. You know what I'm saying? I seen his spirit leave his body.
Was he Okinawan or was he from mainland?
I don't know what he was. He might have been Okinawan, but he thought, because he was working in the clubs and all. There was security. Excuse me for stuttering. There was security that he could just pop off. You showed him quite differently. That was hilarious.
Yeah. The story, what happened was it was in B Greens. I was on that second floor.
Yeah.
And he shows up with one of the American security guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, I forget that guy's name. He was like an Oji-san kind of guy.
Dent?
Maybe. He went to Iraq too, I think, for like AFES or something.
Oh, you talking about Kurt?
Is it Kurt?
Yeah. Kurt. That's
he was telling me, he said, he says that you got to go. And I'm like, what do you mean I got to go? I just got here. I've been here for a while. And he's like, I don't know, you got to go. So I turned to the Japanese guy. What was his name? Stomu. And I was like, why? As I said, why? He fucking clocked me.
He hit you?
As I'm talking.
I didn't know that.
He clocked me. And then just like everyone starts coming towards me. Someone was trying to break it up. And then next thing you know, your boy starts dragging me out.
Right.
And so
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He just clocked me out of nowhere. I was just like, why do I have... Blah!
Wait a minute, what?
Hit me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I was heated. Well, I was drunk too.
But that's okay. No.
But I was outside the club.
Yeah.
And I was waiting for him.
Yo.
And I remember, and I'm sorry, you were like, Joe. When he came out, you're like, Joe, don't do this. And, I'm running my fucking mouth. I was like, it wasn't you. It was Justin. Do you remember Justin?
Yeah, I remember Justin.
Is he still here?
Nah, Justin in the States.
Oh, okay.
No, just... I don't know.
Wasn't he working for Navy MW?
I think he worked in Navy. I'm not sure if he's still here though. I ain't seen him in a minute. Yeah.
But I said, you better get out of my way. And so then Stone was on the other side looking at me, smiling.
Oh.
And when Justin stepped out of the way, he stopped smiling and that's when I fucked him up.
That was dope. I'm gonna tell you, that was dope. I thought that was so dope because he was a herb anyway. He used to, have his you slam. I mean, dude, it was, oh my God, bro. I was like, and I had been, working at night. I had seen all kind of beat downs. And that one was up to the top. That was one of the top tier ones, homie. You slammed his spear was like, poof. He was gone, I laughed so hard, and I act like I ain't see it. If you notice, I kind of turned my back and looked out.
Everyone kind of turned around.
I turned my back and kind of looked out in the street like, ooh.
And then after that, I was like, I got to go. I'll see you guys.
And you did.
I was like, good night, everybody. It's, Okinawa, thank you.
And
drop the mic.
Dropped the mic and bounced. His pride was hurt. That's what he gets.
But you know what happened after that? The next week, I met my wife.
Oh, really?
Yep. And I never went to a club after that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
She makes you happy, man. I could tell.
Yeah, she does. She's the best, bro.
I can see the picture, man. Y'all be smiling and
yeah,
man. Yeah, and I was like, wow. I seen it because I remember the predecessor. And I remember the drama when the predecessor.
Yeah,
I definitely remember that. And I was like,
yeah, it wasn't the best relationship. It was toxic for sure.
I understand, man. I mean, I done been through my fair share of toxic relationships. You can guarantee and trust, and I feel bad for some of the things I've done, man, and that's why, again, I tell you about the whole positive energy thing because of karma. I believe in it. That's why I try to push out a lot of energy into the universe to kind of maybe balance out all the bad energy I put in. Yeah, that was dope. Don't you slam me? I was like, oh.
Every time I see you, you're like, yo, remember that story?
Yes,
like, oh man,
every time.
I'm like looking around, who's listening? Who's here?
Every time. I told my wife that. I told Huey that because you used to teach his daughter.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I talked to him earlier this week or last week. I said, yeah, man, I'm gonna be doing a podcast with the Shima Gaijin podcast.
Tell Huey I've been trying to get in touch with him too. I need to talk
man.
To him.
I'm gonna come back, man.
Come back, dude. Yo, you can be a regular, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. You know what? Hey, I'm down. I'm down like 4 flat tires on top of it. Yeah,
we can talk about anything.
This is dope. This is definitely
dope.
About anything. This is dope, y'all. I don't know who y'all looking or whatnot, but this is dope. Definitely.
Brother.
Thank you, dog. I appreciate it, man. That's dope, man. That's
Big T, everybody.
Yes, sir. Big T. You ever in pyramids, you remember. Holla.